Hello and welcome to Exploring the Holos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this video. Today I want to talk about the mayoral race in New York. Why would I be talking about that? Because it's a huge subject in the news lately, and I want to mainly discuss why it's a huge subject in the news. You rarely hear about mayoral races in the national news, but this one is freaking everybody out, especially the establishment or the deep state, because the person who won the Democratic primary, if you will, is Mumdani. Zoran Mumdani. And he does not support Israel. And I want to talk about why that's important. This is a Muslim man, and he is running to be the mayor of a city. So I find it strange that foreign policy should be a factor at all in this election. But they had debates, and that was one of the questions. How do you feel about Israel, and do you support Israel? And he said that he doesn't support Israel because he's not running to be a mayor in Israel. And I think that answer to that question that resonated with a lot of citizens of New York, and I think that could be a reason why he won. And he was running against the disgraced governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, who was forced to resign because not only was he a sexual predator, accused, I don't think that he was like convicted or anything because he resigned, but he also had a scandal where during COVID, instead of keeping infected residents out of the nursing homes, he had them brought back or whatever, and that spread COVID and potentially killed a lot of people. So that was another big issue people had with him. But Andrew Cuomo got a lot of establishment money. He had a lot of AIPAC and Israeli supporting donors. And he was definitely a corrupt establishment politician. Another Democrat, but very, very corrupt. And we see this more and more. Not necessarily, it's moving away from being Democrats against Republicans, because we're starting to see the veil lifted on how the Democrat-Republican party system is really just good cop, bad cop. The Republicans stab you from the front while the Democrats are stabbing you in the back. It's more grassroots populists against the establishment politicians. And we're going to see more and more people voting for the populist, non-establishment politicians. And I think that's why Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris, because she, towards the end of her campaign, she cozied up to all these billionaires, and that really turns people off. And Trump does it, but he does it in a way where he's still also appealing to everyday problems, the things that he knows what his voters want. And even though he may be lying, they don't know that. And the Democratic establishment has just lost all credibility from the Clintons on up. So the whole party, the Democratic Party, is going through a change right now. And I think it's going to look more like Zoran Mumdani and AOC and these younger, more American looking, yes, American looking, not all white, but like real America candidates who are younger, who actually are willing to work for the voters and not for the billionaires who are giving them paychecks. And I love it. I am glad to see that, because this is kind of like a bellwether for how the rest of America feels. Because even though this is just a mayor race in New York, New York is a huge population center for this country. We're talking about millions of voters in that city. And immediately when Andrew Cuomo conceded to Mumdani, the next day the news was crazy with both left and right establishment media and politicians attacking Mumdani. You have right here, Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this on X with Statue of Liberty, dressed like in a burqa, because apparently the mayor is going to, they think, enact Sharia law on not only New York, but she's afraid the whole country is going to. It's ridiculous. This is like what dumb people think. And it's embarrassing for her. She's not embarrassed because she's not smart enough to be embarrassed about it, but I feel embarrassed for her. And like right here, you got Ogles. This guy's a dandy also, with his little Muhammad comment. Just like, because somebody is from a Muslim background, they can't be part of the government at all. I feel like that's kind of racist or something. It doesn't sit right with me. And it's just driving these people crazy, because this person is not going to do the bidding of Israel. And I find it great. That's really all I have to say about it. I think that we're headed for a positive change in this country as the Trump administration fails to deliver on their promises, and people start to wake up a little bit and see that he wasn't a real populist at all. He said he was going to drain the swamp, but then he became the swamp, and he hired the swamp into his administration. And people are really going to, I think, turn on him, and they're going to want the AOCs, the Mumdanis, and the populists that we had. And I really hope that the ones who are thrown out, like I can't think of their names now, Cory Booker, and the other guy who I can't think of his name. I'll put it right here when I remember it. Yeah, they too were speaking out against what was happening in Palestine, and were primaried because AIPAC has a lot of money. And I hope that they don't give up. I hope that they come back and run again, because I really think there's going to be an opportunity for people who want to be good politicians to actually help this country out. So that's all I got to say about that. And hopefully next week we get back to more Neogenian content. I do have a subject I want to talk about, but I thought that this was important because I want people to pay attention to what's going on, and how just see the double standard. People that are not white, especially Muslims, are really given. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, when you have somebody who's Muslim, they're instantly called a terrorist, right? But when you look at like what the IDF and what the Israeli army is doing in Palestine, they're killing, what, 56,000 innocent people already? How is that not terrorism? And who is the proxy? Are they our proxy, or are we their proxy? By proxy, I mean like a terrorist cell. You know, are they paying us to bomb nuclear sites, or are we paying them? Or are we in it together? I mean, the big argument when Iran, even from my Democratic friends, was like, you know, yeah, war's not good, but they do sponsor a lot of terror. Well, wait a minute. We're sending nearly $4 billion every single year. And last year, Biden sent over $300 billion to terrorists in Palestine, the terrorists known as the IDF. I would consider them much more dangerous terrorists than Hamas, And so that's my opinion. I mean, you can call Muslims terrorists, but I think that these government officials are much bigger terrorists. So I just think it's fair. It drives me nuts how the color of somebody's skin or their background really kind of disqualifies them from holding a government job, especially when then they have beliefs that are actually going to help us. And Zohran Mumdani is in the lead right now, but you're going to see the media attack him, and they're going to dig for something to try to disqualify him. And although I'm happy that he won the primary, I'm not going to keep my hopes up that he's going to win the general election. If he does win the general election, that I think may be the tipping point to change the Democrat Party to going a little more populist. But they got their nails dug in, and they really want to stay establishment. And they're just never going to win that way. So, thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a safe week. Ad astra, my friends.